A quick glance around to ensure he would pass unnoticed, and within seconds he had scaled the railings, hoisted himself over the top, and dropped to the other side, unobserved. Casually walking to the rear, he cut to his left and found himself in a grassed courtyard area, overlooked only by the residential flats of the block. Nothing stirred. The uniform, small, square windows adorning every flat were shrouded with net curtains or dropped blinds. People here valued their privacy, even if it came at the cost of natural light. Moving with purpose, he walked to the fourth window along, on the ground floor. One last look around, and he withdrew a slim metal strip concealed within his coat, an inch wide, smooth and incredibly slim. He slipped it between the window and frame, jockeying it into position. Once happy, he thrust it upwards and felt the reassuring sensation of the latch moving away. The window cracked open, and he eased it out towards him. Putting his tool away, he brushed aside the curtain and clambered in, pulling the window closed behind him. The process had taken only the briefest of moments. The room was as he had found previously, spartanly furnished and stale, desperately in need of some fresh air. Inspecting the dining table, he scanned a magazine that had been left open upon it, this month's National Geographic. Alongside that was a book on the fundamentals of economics. The ticking of the clock, mounted on the wall in the narrow kitchen, set off the multifunction living space, carried through to where he stood. Movement in the corner of his eye saw him turn to see a cat stretching out on the sofa, eyeing the newcomer suspiciously. He ignored it and walked towards the hallway. Off to the left was the bathroom and another door to the one and only bedroom. To the right, 3 meters away, was the front door, accessed from the communal entrance. Glancing at his watch, he knew there wouldn't be long to wait. As if on cue, a key was inserted into the lock, apparently in somewhat of a rush, as the bearer struggled to get it into place. A vision of a flustered man came to mind as the latch disengaged and the door flew open. Taking a step back from view, he held his breath so as not to make his presence known, becoming one with the wall. The adrenaline coursed through him, as always, but externally his outward appearance was a picture of measured calm. The sound of someone entering and swiftly closing the door behind, dropping the latch and hastily attaching the security chain, assured him that their quarry was indeed aware of his colleague's attention. Reaching into his coat, he withdrew the weapon, no more than 6 inches in length and easy to conceal. Depressing the power button, he allowed it a moment to activate. Stepping back into the hall, the resident was startled to find a man standing before him, gun raised. The red laser levelled a dot directly to the centre of his midriff. He raised a hand in supplication. "No, wait!" The request was never completed. The barbed probes were deployed, punching through his heavy winter clothing and delivering their burst of energy. Both sensory and motor nervous systems were overwhelmed, and he dropped to his knees with a barely audible grunt, wide-eyed and straining every visible muscle. Covering the distance between them with speed, he pressed the taser against the bare skin of the man's neck. Deploying the second charge incapacitated him yet further. He slumped sideways to the floor, losing consciousness. With a large stride, he stepped across the fallen man and over to the door. Activating the button to override the security lock to the communal entrance, he heard the outer door click open via the intercom. The sound of the others moving through came to him. Leaving the door to the flat ajar, he returned his focus to the man lying prostrate at his feet. Grasping him unceremoniously by the collar at the back of the neck, he dragged him down the hallway and into the living room. The door to the flat was pushed open, and echoes of footsteps on the polished floor of the communal passageway carried as the group passed through, closing the door to the flat behind them. It was time to get to work.